Okay, so we're just going to do a quick review of matrix multiplication. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check that my first matrix has the same number of columns as there are rows in the second matrix. So I have 1, 2 columns and I have 1, 2 rows. So I can go ahead and start multiplying. The first thing I'm going to do is circle all of my rows in the first, and then I'm going to circle my columns in the second. So that's the opposite of what we just counted in the beginning. So now I'm going to go ahead and multiply my first number by my first number, -2 times 6, and then my second number by my second number. So I'm adding these together. 1 times 2. -2 times 6 is, -2 times 6 is -12, plus 1 times 2 is 2. So -12 plus 2 is -10. You can always use your calculator for that. -2, so, -2 times 0. So our first number times our first number. And now we've moved over. So -2 times 0 plus our second number times our second number. 1 times 6. -2 times 0 is 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 0 plus 6 is 6. So now we're going to move down because we finished both of these columns. -2 times 6, our first number times our first number, plus -1 times 2. So -2 times 6 is -12. -1 times 2 is -2. -12 plus -2 is -14. So now we're moving over to this column. Our first number times our first number. Our second number times our second number. -2 times 0 is 0. -1 times 6 is -6. And now we finished our second column, so we're going to move down to our last row. Our first number times our first, plus our second times our second. 5 times 6 is 30. -3 times 2 is -6. 30 minus 6 is 24. Now we're moving over to our second column. Our first number times our first, and our second times our second. 5 times 0 is 0. -3 times 6 is -18. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write my answer in a matrix. So we used this first row for these two. So that means that's going to be our first row here. -10, 6. Then this is our second row, which is these two numbers. -14, -6. And then this is our last row. 24, -18. Sometimes I like to stop in the middle. Once I finish a row, I'll stop and write them in. If that helps you, you are welcome to do that. This was just me doing the whole thing at once. All right, thank you.